Welcome back to Wonders of Our Planet. Today, we're talking about Lake Baikal. What do we know about it? A famous lake somewhere in Siberia, the deepest one in the world. You've probably seen it on calendars. A giant sheet of blue ice, cracks running through it like glowing neon tubes. But here's what almost no one knows. Baikal is not just a lake. It is a crack in the Earth's crust, slowly pulling itself apart. It is older than the Rocky Mountains, older than the Andes, older than nearly every freshwater body on the planet. It holds 20% of all the unfrozen fresh water on Earth, more than all 5 Great Lakes of North America combined. It is home to a freshwater seal that has no business being 1,000 miles from any ocean. It contains fish that literally melt when you pull them to the surface. And the floor of the lake gets a little wider every single year. Right here, right now, let's get into it. Geologically, Baikal is not a lake at all. It is a rift. The Eurasian continental plate beneath Siberia is slowly splitting apart, and water has poured into the crack. Baikal is about 25 million years old. For comparison, the oldest of the American Great Lakes, Lake Superior, is barely 15,000 years old. Baikal is more than 1,000 times older. It is older than most existing mountain ranges. The depth is 5,387 feet, more than a mile straight down. The length is 395 miles. The volume is 5,670 cubic miles of fresh water. If you poured all 5 Great Lakes of North America into the basin of Baikal at once, there would still be room left over for another Lake Michigan on top. And the rift keeps growing. The 2 shores of Baikal are pulling apart at about 3/4 of an inch every year. A few million years from now, this place will be a new ocean, cutting Asia in half. Baikal is not one simple bowl of water. It is 27 islands, the largest of which, Olkan, is 44 miles long, covered in steppe, sand dunes, and ancient shamanic shrines. The western shore is sheer cliffs. The eastern shore is soft, blanketed in taiga forest. Beneath the surface, the lake is divided into 3 separate basins, split by underwater ridges, each with its own ecosystem. 336 rivers flow into Baikal, and only one flows out, the Angara. Locals say Baikal has 336 daughters and 1 runaway son. The daughters bring their father fresh water from across southern Siberia. The runaway son heads north, joins the Yenisei River, and 1,200 miles later spills into the Arctic Ocean. The water of Baikal is clear to a depth of 130 feet. Drop a coin in, and you can watch it sink almost the full length of a football field. In winter, the surface freezes under ice nearly 5 feet thick enough to drive a loaded truck across. And beneath that ice, something extraordinary happens. Methane bubbles rise from the bottom and become trapped, freezing into the ice as vertical chandeliers of pearl-like clusters that hang downward for tens of feet. Along the shore, frozen spray builds up into formations the locals call sakui, ice cathedrals shaped by wind and waves. And the secret behind this kind of clarity is a creature smaller than the head of a pin. It is a tiny crustacean called Episcura baicalensis. Each one filters about a cup of water per day. There are trillions of them in the lake. Together they filter the entire basin of Baikal once every year. If Episcura ever disappeared, Baikal would go from blue to green within 12 months. And now the part most people don't know. Roughly 2,600 species of plants and animals live in Baikal, and 2/3 of them are endemic. They exist nowhere else on Earth. The most famous is the Baikal seal, called the Nerpa, scientific name Pusa sibirica. It is the only truly freshwater seal on the planet. No one knows exactly how its ancestors ended up in a lake 1,000 miles from any ocean. The leading theory is that during the Ice Age, when northern sea levels were higher, The seal's ancestors traveled up the Yenisei and Angara rivers and got trapped when the climate changed. Today there are about 100,000 of them. They can dive to 1,000 feet and stay underwater for more than an hour. The second endemic is the golomayanka, a transparent pink ghostfish with no scales and no swim bladder, whose body is nearly 40% fat. Pull one onto a sunlit deck and it literally melts into a puddle of oil. The third is the amul, a relative of salmon, the only commercial fish of Baikal, found nowhere else in the world. And then there are stories that are hard to believe. In the winter of 1904, during the Russo-Japanese War, the Russian army laid a temporary railway directly across the frozen surface of Baikal. 8 steam locomotives and hundreds of rail cars rolled across the ice. The ice held. And today, at the bottom of Baikal, scientists have installed something most people don't know exists: an underwater neutrino telescope called baikal-gvd. It uses the impossibly clear water of the lake to detect cosmic particles from distant galaxies. The cleanest fresh water on Earth turned out to be the perfect lens for looking into space. The biggest threat to Baikal is us. From 1966 until 2013, a paper and pulp mill operated on the southern shore, dumping chemicals straight into the water. More than a decade after it closed, the ecosystem is still healing. To the west, Mongolia is planning to build hydroelectric dams on the Selenge River, Baikal's main source of water, which would cut the inflow by roughly 20%. On the lake floor, scientists have recently found patches of Spirogyra, an invasive algae. The most likely cause is phosphates from the shampoos and detergents of tourists. The seals themselves are relatively safe today, but their pups, called balayak, are still poached for their white fur. The truth is, Baikal does not need our help. It needs less of our presence. The oldest body of fresh water on the planet stood quietly on its own for 25 million years. The least we can do is not break it in the last 100. Baikal teaches us something we tend to forget. Nature does not need our presence to exist. For 25 million years, it stood here alone. Every civilization we know is, in comparison, barely a blink of an eye. And all the lake asks of us is to stay out of the way. The oldest body of water on Earth will patiently wait for us to grow into wisdom, while it keeps growing its 3/4 of an inch every year. If you enjoyed this story, hit the like button and subscribe. That's what keeps these videos coming. Thanks for watching Wonders of Our Planet.